She kicked open my door, let her clothes fall, and said, "Try to stop me." He was used to working late, alone, fixing minor glitches in the experimental drive room. This was his world, a small, narrow room filled with blinking panels, wires running along the walls like veins, and the soft glow of monitors reflecting off his tired eyes. He leaned back in his chair and rubbed his face. Tomorrow would be another long day, but tonight he just wanted quiet. Then the door slammed open. Kai jumped. Panels rattled. Air rushed in with a sharp hiss, carrying with it an unfamiliar scent, a mix of ozone, burnt metal, and something alien. Standing in the doorway was a figure he had never seen before. She was tall, almost impossibly agile, with sharp eyes that glinted in the light. Her suit was sleek, patched with different colors and gadgets, clearly not standard issue for anyone on the station. Her stance was bold, challenging, fearless, and with a voice that cut through the quiet hum like a laser, she said, "Try to stop me." Kai froze. His first thought was to call security, but something in her stance, her speed, the way she moved, told him she wouldn't be caught so easily. He had only seconds to act. Who are you?" he managed to stammer, standing up and reaching for the console. "I don't have time to answer questions," she said, stepping further inside. Her boots clicked against the metal floor with a rhythm that seemed almost calculated. "Move aside, human, I need that energy core. Now." Kai's heart raced. Energy core. The station's core was experimental, unstable. It was dangerous in the wrong hands. He couldn't just step aside. "No way," he said, trying to sound braver than he felt. "You can't just take it," she smirked. "Watch me." Before he could react, she leapt forward with impossible speed, moving like she was part shadow, part wind. Kai barely had time to duck behind the nearest console. Sparks flew as she sliced through the air, disabling locks and security systems as if they were toys. Kai's mind raced. He had no combat training, but humans were clever. Humans could think in ways aliens often couldn't predict. He grabbed a toolkit from the wall and started throwing together a makeshift trap. "Wait, what are you doing?" she called over her shoulder, pausing just long enough for Kai to hear the curiosity in her voice. "Stopping you," he yelled, even though he wasn't entirely sure what that meant yet. Using the station's wiring and his toolkit, Kai rigged a small magnetic field trap near the main corridor. It wasn't much, but it could slow her down. The next moment she came through the doorway and the trap snapped on. Sparks flew. Her movement slowed, not much, but enough for Kai to get a look at her. Her eyes widened, impressed. Clever, very human. Kai didn't have time to feel proud. She recovered instantly, twisting and flipping in the air to avoid the next set of traps he had thrown together. He had underestimated her speed. He thought quickly. There was a maintenance shaft nearby, a narrow space only a small human could fit through. If he could lure her into the wrong corridor, maybe she would be slowed, giving him time to alert the station. "Over here," he yelled, running toward the shaft, pretending to flee. She followed naturally. Aliens like her were confident, used to thinking faster than their prey. Kai ducked into the maintenance shaft, the metal walls scraping against his shoulders. He could hear her move past him, agile fast, whisper quiet. He counted to 10, heart thudding. Then quietly he moved behind her. Humans had one advantage: imagination. He had learned every corner of this room, every vent and panel. And humans could make plans on the fly, improvising traps from nothing. He tripped another panel switch, sending a spark to the floor. She hissed and jumped back. Her eyes scanned the room, narrowing. Impressive, but slow. Kai smiled quietly, slow. Maybe to her, but not for a human. Suddenly, an alarm blared. Red lights flashed. The rogue faction he hadn't even known existed was approaching the station. And now he realized she wasn't just stealing the core. She was fleeing from someone or something worse. "Kai," she said, her voice low, almost urgent now. "I didn't come here to fight you. I need your help." Kai froze. "Help you?" "Yes. If you keep trying to stop me, you'll die. I can't do this alone." For a moment, Kai's mind whirled. He had been so focused on stopping her that he hadn't considered her side. And now he realized the humans on this station were in more danger than he thought. I, I don't know if I can trust you, he said honestly, gripping a metal bar for support. I don't expect you to, she said. But right now the enemy isn't me, it's them. They're coming for the station and for me, and if they succeed you won't just lose your core, you'll lose this whole station. Kai felt a chill. The rogue faction, he had heard rumors of alien raiders who destroyed stations, wiped out colonies. But he had always thought the stories were exaggerated. Now, seeing her, seeing the speed and power she carried, he knew it was real. He glanced at the blinking panels, at the locks he had tried to set. His mind raced. Humans were not the strongest. Humans were not the fastest. But humans were resilient, unpredictable, and smart. He could use that. Okay, he said finally. We do it my way. She raised an eyebrow. Your way? My traps, he said. My knowledge of this station. Humans think differently. We can outsmart them. She studied him for a moment, then nodded slowly. Fine, but if this goes wrong, don't think I won't. I know, Kai said quickly. I know you're fast, but we're a team now. Let's get to work. They moved quickly. Kai directed her to corridors rigged with his makeshift defenses. She adapted quickly, moving with grace and precision, but she trusted him. For the first time, he felt a flicker of hope. They reached the core room. The energy core glowed softly, humming with latent power. Kai examined it carefully. It was dangerous in the wrong hands. One wrong move could trigger a meltdown. Zyra looked at him, eyes sharp. This is it. Yes, he said. And if we fail, he didn't finish the sentence. The thought alone was terrifying. Suddenly, a shadow moved across the doorway. The rogue faction had arrived. Tall, armored aliens with blasters stepped in, blocking their path. Kai and Zyra exchanged a glance. They didn't have much time, but humans had one thing aliens often underestimated: creativity under pressure. Kai pushed a button on the console, activating a system only a human could think to use in this situation. Panels opened, releasing bursts of magnetic pulses. The armored aliens were thrown off balance, their weapons disrupted. Zyra smirked. Nice trick, Kai grinned. Told you humans think differently. The aliens regrouped, charging again, but Kai had prepared another trap. Together, Kai and Zyra worked seamlessly. Human ingenuity, alien skill. They pushed back the invaders just enough to protect the core. For the first time, Kai realized something profound. Humans were not just survivors. Humans were innovators, problem solvers, fighters in ways no alien could predict. And right now, that could make all the difference. Zyra glanced at him, a hint of respect in her eyes. Maybe humans aren't as weak as I thought, Kai smiled. We never are. We just need the chance to show it. And in that moment, as red alarms blared and sparks flew, Kai knew that the real battle was only beginning, and that humans, for all their flaws, could face anything the galaxy threw at them. The station's corridors were a maze of metal and wires, lit only by the flickering red. Warning lights. Kai ran ahead, heart pounding, with Zyra close behind. The rogue faction soldiers were fast, but humans had one advantage: weird, unpredictable thinking. Kai ducked into a maintenance hatch, then crawled through narrow vents, hoping the aliens would follow. He could hear them trying, their heavy armor scraping against the walls. You're good, Zyra said, moving beside him in perfect silence. Faster than most humans I've seen, Kai panted. I have to be, otherwise we're done for. Zyra glanced at him sharply. We're done for anyway if you don't tell me why they want the core. Kai hesitated. He had been so focused on stopping her that he hadn't thought to explain everything. This core isn't just energy. It's experimental, dangerous if misused. And I think they wanted to destroy the station. Her eyes narrowed. Destroy it? Why? Power, he said bluntly. They think they can control the sector if the station is gone. But it's not just a station, it's human tech, stronger than most aliens realize. If they get it, they could wipe out entire colonies. Zyra ran a hand through her hair. I didn't know. I thought I was stealing it for myself. I didn't expect them. Kai realized something. Zyra wasn't here to attack humans. She was running from a bigger threat. Listen, he said, keeping his voice low, we need a plan. We can't outrun them forever, but humans are good at thinking on the spot. We can use that. Zyra studied him. For a moment, the cold, confident exterior melted, revealing fear and urgency. Then tell me your plan, human. Kai took a deep breath. We split their attention. I use the vents and maintenance systems to mislead them. You, with your speed and agility, hit their weak points. Together, we can make them think we're more than we are. She smirked, though her eyes betrayed the tension. Human arrogance, I like it. They moved swiftly. Kai darted through a narrow corridor, triggering lights and alarms in a pattern designed to mislead the invaders. Zyra followed, leaping from wall to wall, disabling security drones and blasters with ease. The first group of rogue soldiers entered the corridor. They fired, but Kai had already triggered a magnetic pulse trap. Their weapons shorted out and they stumbled, stunned. Zyra moved like a shadow, taking them down with precision strikes. The synergy between them was perfect, Kai's human improvisation and Zyra's alien skill. But the rogue faction was smart. They adapted. Another group came from behind, cutting off their escape. Kai's mind raced. They couldn't fight forever, they needed a way to turn the tables. Through here, Kai shouted, opening a hidden maintenance hatch leading to the engineering bay. We can use the station itself, Zyra nodded. They dropped into the engineering bay, where massive machinery hummed and whirred. Pipes, conduits, and panels formed a complex labyrinth. Humans understood this station better than any alien could. Kai grabbed a control panel and reprogrammed the airlocks and magnetic fields. The rogue soldiers entered, only to find themselves trapped in shifting corridors. Hissing vents and sudden electric pulses forced them to retreat and regroup. Zyra let out a low whistle. I've never seen aliens fall for traps like this. Kai smiled grimly. That's the point. They expect brute force. Humans are different. For a moment, there was a strange silence. The only sounds were the hum of the station and the faint tapping of their footsteps. Kai noticed Zyra looking at him not as an enemy but as an ally, perhaps the first human she had ever respected. Why are you helping me? She asked quietly. You barely know me and I broke into your station. Kai shrugged. Because if I don't, the whole station dies. And humans don't just sit back and watch their own die. That's not who we are. Zyra studied him. I underestimated humans. You're clever, stronger than I imagined. Kai felt a flicker of pride, but there was no time to dwell. Another alert flashed on the monitor. More rogue ships were docking outside. They had reinforcements. Kai's mind raced. Humans could do a lot with little. He remembered a weak point in the station's outer hull, a pressure vent connected to the docking bay. If he could lure the reinforcements into it, he could buy time. Zyra, he whispered, pointing at the map on the panel. We can collapse their entry point using the vent system. It'll trap them outside, buying us time. She nodded, impressed. You think of everything, don't you? Humans survive by thinking ahead, he said. We may not be strongest, but we're smart and unpredictable. They moved fast. Kai opened the vent manually while Zyra took position near the docking bay. When the alien reinforcements arrived, they were funneled straight into the trap. Magnetic locks and sudden depressurization stunned them, leaving them floating helpless in the vacuum outside. Zyra let out a low whistle. I've never seen aliens handled like this. Kai grinned. They didn't expect it, that's the human way. For a moment they caught their breath. The station was safe for now. But Kai could feel it in his gut. The rogue faction wasn't finished. They would try again and probably with more force. Why did you really steal the core? Kai asked cautiously. Zyra's expression hardened. I didn't steal it to harm anyone. I stole it to protect myself and my people. That rogue faction, they destroyed my home planet. They're hunting me. And if they get this core, they can destroy stations, colonies, maybe even entire planets. I wanted to keep it out of their hands. Kai nodded slowly. He finally understood. Zyra wasn't a thief. She was a survivor, a fighter in her own right. And now humans and aliens were facing a common enemy. You know, he said carefully, humans have fought a lot of enemies we didn't expect, and we survive because we adapt. We're stubborn in a good way. Zyra's lips twitched. Maybe that's why I like working with you, even if I won't admit it. Kai felt a small laugh escape him. Just don't get used to it. I work alone a lot. They moved through the station carefully, checking for traps and reinforcements. Kai rigged more systems, turning the station itself into a defensive maze. Alien soldiers that followed them found doors locked, panels sparking, and corridors shifting unpredictably. Humans had an instinct for using their environment, something aliens often ignored. Hours passed like minutes. The rogue faction seemed endless, but Kai and Zyra kept moving, keeping ahead of danger. Each time the aliens adapted, Kai found a new way to outsmart them. And slowly, Zyra began to realize something profound. Humans weren't just weaker or slower. They were unpredictable, resourceful, and dangerous in ways aliens could never anticipate. Your species, Zyra said quietly as they paused in a dark corridor, catching their breath. Humans, you're nothing like I expected. Kai looked at her, tired but determined. We're survivors, and sometimes we're heroes whether we want to be or not. Zyra nodded slowly. I see that now, I see you. Another alarm blared. The rogue faction had discovered their location. They were coming for them again. Kai grabbed his toolkit. Zyra readied her weapons. Humans adapt, and we fight back, Kai said, gripping a metal pipe. Let's make them regret underestimating us. Zyra smirked, a glint of admiration in her eyes. Lead the way, human, I follow your plan. Together they ran down the corridor, disappearing into the shadows, ready to face the next wave. The chase wasn't over, but for the first time, Kai realized humans could take on anything, even aliens who were faster, stronger, and better armed. And in the back of his mind, he knew one truth. The rogue faction didn't know the full power of human ingenuity yet. The station shook violently. Red warning lights flashed everywhere, casting long shadows over the metallic walls. Alarms blared, echoing through every corridor. Kai's heart raced, but this time it wasn't fear, this was determination. Here they come again, Zyra said, her eyes scanning the corridor ahead. She had grown to trust him, even respect him. You ready? Kai nodded, gripping a heavy metal pipe. More than ever. Let's show them what humans can do. Outside the station, rogue ships hovered like predators, sleek and deadly. They had regrouped, bringing reinforcements, more firepower, and more soldiers. They had underestimated the humans before, but this time they were prepared. Inside, Kai moved like a general, his mind working faster than any AI. He set the station's automated defenses to unexpected patterns. Doors slammed shut at unpredictable intervals. Magnetic fields activated, throwing intruders off balance. Lights flickered to disorient them. Every corridor became a maze. Zyra moved beside him, her alien agility complementing his human ingenuity perfectly. She leaped over sparking panels, disabled weapons, and blocked alien soldiers from advancing. Kai noticed something. The rogue faction was fast, but they couldn't predict human thinking. Every twist, every trap Kai improvised gave them an edge. Kai, Zyra shouted. They've split into two groups. One is heading straight for the core. He froze for only a moment. Then we divide their attention. I'll take one corridor, you take the other. Hit them hard and fast. She smirked. You humans really do love risks. I'd rather take risks than die unprepared, he said and ran. Kai moved through a narrow maintenance corridor. Sparks flew from exposed wires and red lights flickered above him. Around every corner, rogue soldiers appeared, blasters ready. But Kai had already rigged the corridor with electromagnetic pulses. One by one, their weapons fizzled and they stumbled helplessly. Meanwhile, Zyra had intercepted the group heading toward the core. She moved like a shadow, faster than the soldiers could react. Kai could hear the clash of metal, the hum of energy weapons, and occasional yells from the aliens. Kai's heart pounded. They were outnumbered, but humans had a unique advantage: creativity under pressure. No alien could anticipate the tricks he had hidden throughout the station. Every panel, every vent, every control system could be turned into a weapon. He reached the main engineering hub and slammed his hand on a control panel. "Zyra, get ready." From his console, Kai activated the station's defense grid. Energy beams shot out, not strong enough to destroy, but perfectly timed to confuse, trap, and stagger the incoming soldiers. Magnetic fields spun their weapons out of control, while automated shutters locked them in dead ends. Zyra appeared beside him, having taken down a squad of rogue soldiers herself. "Nice work," she said. "Humans think differently, I like it." Kai grinned. "We have to. If we only relied on strength, we'd be dead by now." The aliens regrouped, realizing brute force wouldn't work. Their leader, a massive alien in black armor, stepped forward. He raised a weapon capable of blasting through the station's hull. "Enough tricks, humans. Step aside or die." Kai's mind raced. Humans had brains, not brawn, but brains could beat brawn. He studied the alien and the layout, then an idea struck him. "Zyra," he shouted, "I need you to lure him toward the main reactor." She raised an eyebrow. "Are you crazy? That reactor could explode." "Not if we control it." "Trust me," Kai said, already pressing commands on the console. Zyra hesitated, then nodded. She sprinted forward, faster than any human could, dodging blaster fire. The alien leader followed, cursing and shouting. Kai activated the reactor's magnetic field, creating a corridor of force that guided the alien directly into the trap he had set. A burst of energy surged through the corridor. The alien leader crashed into a magnetic wall, disarmed, and completely stunned. Zyra appeared behind him, swiftly neutralizing the threat. Kai wiped sweat from his forehead. "That's one down." But the battle wasn't over. Rogue soldiers poured in from other corridors, relentless and well-trained. Kai and Zyra moved together like a single unit: human strategy, alien speed. Kai triggered another sequence. The station's airlocks opened and closed rapidly, creating sudden vacuum blasts that caught groups of soldiers off guard. Zyra used the confusion to take out isolated enemies, leaving only a few standing. Hours felt like minutes. The rogue faction was being outsmarted at every turn. Kai realized something powerful. Humans could face any challenge when they worked together, when they used their minds as weapons. Strength mattered, yes, but strategy, courage, and adaptability mattered more. Suddenly, an alarm flashed red. A massive rogue ship had breached the outer hull, heading straight for the station. Its weapons could destroy everything in seconds. Zyra's eyes widened. "They're serious now," Kai nodded. "And that's when humans shine. We don't just survive, we adapt." He accessed the ship's docking sensors. The rogue ship's trajectory would intersect with a narrow asteroid field nearby. Kai quickly recalculated the station's defense systems, creating a temporary electromagnetic pulse that would push the alien ship into the field. Zyra stared at him. "You're insane." "Or brilliant," Kai said, fingers flying over the console. The pulse activated. Lights flickered as the rogue ship shuddered, caught off guard. Its engines flared and it veered sharply into the asteroid field. Explosions rocked the field as the ship collided with asteroids, tearing it apart. Zyra's jaw dropped. I didn't think that would work," Kai smiled. "Humans always find a way." The remaining rogue soldiers surrendered or retreated. The station was safe. The core was secure. And for the first time, Zyra looked at Kai not as a technician, not as a human, but as a true strategist, a hero. "Humans," she said slowly, shaking her head. "You're unpredictable, relentless, and brilliant. I underestimated your species." Kai shrugged. "You're not the first alien to do that, but we're survivors, and we fight back no matter the odds." Zyra smiled faintly, a glint of respect in her eyes. I see that now. I'll make sure the galaxy knows humans are not to be underestimated. Kai looked around the station. Sparks flew from damaged panels, alarms still blared faintly, but the sense of victory was overwhelming. Humans had faced impossible odds and survived. They had outsmarted faster, stronger, better-armed aliens. "Are you leaving now?" he asked cautiously. Zyra nodded. "For now. But I'll be back as an ally." Kai felt a sense of pride. Humans had once again proved themselves. They were clever, adaptable, and courageous. And in a galaxy that often doubted them, that was more powerful than any weapon. As Zyra disappeared into the darkness of the station's docking bay, Kai sat back at his console, exhausted but triumphant. The station was secure, the rogue faction defeated, and humanity had once again shown its ingenuity and courage. For a long time he just stared at the blinking lights, thinking about what had happened. Humans were not perfect, not the fastest, not the strongest, but they were resilient, smart, and daring. And sometimes that was all it took to change the course of a battle and the course of history. Kai smiled faintly. One human had faced an alien threat and survived. Together, humans could face anything, and the galaxy had no idea what was coming. The station's lights shifted from red to normal. Silence returned. Outside, the stars sparkled as if applauding humanity's triumph. And somewhere in the distance, Kai knew Zyra would carry the story of humans' brilliance into the wider galaxy. Humans, against all odds, had won.